111, under which section of the Act, returning officers, ROS, and district returning officers, DROs, will only be able to punish individuals for impersonation? See Section 169. 112, how much time will be fixed for polling day? See not less than 8 hours. 113, the Commission shall hold elections to the local governments within 120 days of the expiry of the term of the local governments of a province, cantonment, Islamabad Capital Territory or Federally Administered Tribal Areas, is mentioned in which section of the Elections Act, 2017? B. Section 219, 4. 114, in Election Act 2017, Section 3 deals with Election Commission of Pakistan. B. Section 16. 115, how many voters will be allowed to a polling booth? See not more than 300. 116, the ECP has been empowered to delegate its functions to its members and officials. A. Section 6. 117, what is name of system which recently launched by ECP? A. Complaint Management System. 118, if two independent candidates apply for the same symbol, then that particular symbol shall allot to? D. None of the above. 119, under the Constitution of 1973, Part 8, Chapter 2, if a government's tenure completes, election should be held within B. 60 days. 120, election to reserved seats in an assembly is the title of in Election Act 2017. D. Chapter 6. 121, delimitation of constituencies is the title of in Election Act 2017. D. Chapter 3. 122, election agent may request RO for recount if the winning margin is B. less than 5% or 10,000, whichever is less, of the total votes cast. 123, a candidate may retire from the election by informing RO not later than days before the polling day. B. 4 days. 124, on which form will the candidate submit his election expenses to ECP? See Form C. 125, the ECP has been authorized to redress complaints/grievances during various stages of the election process, other than challenge to the election itself under Article 225. Its decisions will be appealable to the Supreme Court of Pakistan. D. Section 15. 126, under the A244, who serves as PM unless caretaker PM is elected? A. PM. 127, the documents retained by the Commission will open for public inspection except A. Ballot papers. 128, electoral rolls is the title of in Election Act 2017. D. Chapter 4. 129, if the variation in the number of men and women voters in a constituency is more than 10%, special measures will be taken by ECP to reduce such variation. D. Section 47. 130, to extend the hours of the poll, the decision should be made at least hours before the end of the poll. B. 3 HRS. 131, Election Commission of Pakistan is the title of in Election Act 2017. A. Chapter 2. 132, return of election expenses shall be scrutinized by the ECP. See Section 136. 133, a person with any physical disability who is unable to travel and holds a national identity card with a logo for physical disability issued by the National Database and Registration Authority may be able to cast their votes now by postal ballot. A. Section 93. 134, In case of equality of votes between two candidates, both will be declared returned candidates and each shall become member for half of the term of the Assembly. The candidate who will be member for the first half of the term will be determined by draw of lots. In case of equality of votes between three or more candidates, there shall be re-election in the constituency. A. Section 97. 135. Chief Election Commissioner takes oath by C. Chief Justice of SC. 136. If the variation in the disaggregated data of men and women is more than %, the Commission should take necessary measurement that includes issuance of NIC. C10, expedite. 137. Means a person appointed under this Act to hear and dispose of claims and objections and applications for corrections relating to the electoral rolls. See Revising Authority. 138. Who will be responsible to maintain law and order situation in polling station? A. Presiding Officer. 139. Under which section, a person is guilty of the offense of illegal practice if he fails to comply with Section 134 and does not submit return of election expenses? B. Section 175. 140. Where is the headquarters of Election Commission of Pakistan? A. Islamabad. 141. A post-election review of the implementation of the action plan shall be included in the next annual report of the ECP. B. Section 14. 142. Election tribunal shall comprise of in case of local government election. See Judge of District Court. 143. Miscellaneous is title for which chapter of the Elections Act 2017? A. Chapter 15. 144. A ballot paper shall not be issued to a voter if in case D. All the above. 145. Commission means the Election Commission of Pakistan constituted under Article 218 is mentioned in B. Section 2, 9. 146. Commission is bound to scrutinize returns of the expenses within days. A 90 days. 147. ECP shall prepare a gender disaggregated statement of voters showing the total number of votes cast by men and women voters at the polling station. D. Section 91. 148. Chapter X of the Elections Act 2017 deals with B. Offenses, penalties, and procedures. 149. The ECP has been empowered to issue specific directions for performance of its duties, which shall be enforced throughout Pakistan in the same manner as if these have been issued by a high court. D. Section 4. 150. Which section of the Election Act 2017 deals with principles of delimitation? A. Section 20. 151. The Commissioner will have full financial powers, including power to create posts within its approved budgetary allocations. D. Section 11, 2. 152. An election official shall, before the commencement of his election duty, make an oath, in such form and manner as may be prescribed, that he shall act strictly in accordance with the provisions of the Elections Act, 2017, rules and directions of the ECP. A. Section 56. 153. What is meant by member in Election Act? D. All of these. 154. Chapter 14 of the Elections Act 2017 deals with A. Caretaker government. 155. Tendered ballot papers are issued in case when a two-person claims same identity. 156. Election Tribunal announce the decision if a respondent does not appears before court hearing. B. Ex parte. 157. Disqualification on account of offences is mentioned in B. Section 232. 158. Not more than voters shall be assigned to a polling station. A 1,200, 1,200 per PS and 300 per booth. 159. The ECP shall establish a transparent results management system for expeditious counting, compilation, and dissemination of election results. D. Section 13. 160. How to check vote? B. By sending text message to 8300. 161. Political parties shall encourage women membership. D. Section 203. 162. While scrutinizing a nomination paper, the returning officer shall not ask any question which has no nexus to the information supplied or received or objections raised by any person, or tangible material on record. A. Section 62. 163. In order to contest election, a candidate shall submit on Form B the details of his assets and liabilities along with his spouse and children on day of June on Form C. June 30th, Form B. 164. The ECP shall prepare a comprehensive action plan 4 months before the elections specifying all legal and administrative measures that have been taken or are required to be taken. B. Section 14. 165. The Elections Act 2017 was given assent by the President of Pakistan on D. October 2, 2017. 166. The office bearers of a political party at the federal, provincial, and local levels shall be elected periodically provided that a period, not exceeding 5 years, shall intervene between any 2 elections. B. Section 208. 167. Under Section 177, a person is guilty of canvassing in or near a polling station if he is within a radius of how many meters of a polling station? D. 400.